What's up, guys? So before this episode starts, it is sponsored by our friends at Sour Strips, which is the company that I own, that the show's named after. Guys, have you ever gotten sour candy and been like, oh my God, this is gonna be so delicious and sour, and then you take it home and you open it and you put it in your mouth and you're like, this sucks so much. That is not the case with Sour Strips. This is actual sour candy. It is the best sour candy you will ever have in your entire life. 12 flavors, resealable bag, scrumdiddlyumptious, Maxi Poo's seal of approval. I'm telling you, this is the absolute best. Click the link down in the description and use code POTTER to get 15% off your first purchase. Sour Strips, sour candy that doesn't suck.
Okay, cool. Hootenanny shenanigans, big old cherry pie.
I'm a fellow mid-30s guy, so.
What you mean fellow, dog? What you mean fellow?
Was your baby planned?
All right, let's relax. I don't even like you like that. We're not really friends, bro.
F you, dude.
You gotta relax, dog. You in LA, homie. Yeah, big old
Finally got to have sex.
Finally, dude, after waiting so long.
What does like a day in your life look like these days?
Sometimes I just sit on the couch in silence, and then around 11, I jerk off. It's like,
sleeping, shitting, crying.
I mean, I think we are just meant to be together.
All right, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Don't Be Sour. I'm your host, Max Tuning. We got a special travel episode for you today with Mr. Tim DeLaGhetto.
What's up, bro? I retired that name. You want to try my real name?
I'm gonna try it here. So you just know I'm gonna butcher it right out of the gate.
No, I got you. Here. Let me coach you. All right.
Okay.
So it's just like it's spelled. All right. Just break it down, and all the A's are A's. Okay.
Chantarangsu.
Perfect.
Chantarangsu?
Literally perfect.
Oh my fucking God! I nailed it, dude.
You actually did.
What's up, man? Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm glad we can make this happen.
You know, whenever I have guests that I don't, a lot of people that I interview, I like know a huge backstory about them.
Right.
I've been like hardcore fans. You're someone like as in the space you are. Yeah. I'm not as familiar with like a lot of what you've done, so I had to go down the rabbit hole. And but like whenever I get someone kind of like you who's been around for a long time. Mm-hmm. I want to start it by saying like why or how this came to be.
Cool.
So you tweeted out something that was like, who other podcasts should I like watch or be on or interested in?
Something like that. I think I just kind of asked one of those questions. One of those. It was either like, who should I check out? Oh, I asked, who's your favorite like podcast from a YouTuber or internet creator? And then you were tagged. And someone was like, yo, you should hop on his shit. And I was like, okay.
And then when I reached out to you and you were like, yeah, sure. I was like, oh shit. You know, can I ask you like, why did you say yeah?
Well, for one, I know the struggle of trying to find guests for a podcast, and like just trying to figure out, who am I going to have this week? Who new can I bring in? Blah, blah, blah. Like I understand the struggle of like every time when it comes time to find guests for mine, I'm just kind of like scrolling through my feed. I'm like, who might be interesting, right? Yeah. And then I peeped, like, of course, I clicked your links. I saw you had a very presentable profile picture.
Thanks, man.
You got good cheekbones. I went to your following. You had a decent following. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
He checks all the boxes.
You have to, because I tell people all the time, like, when they're trying to, like, let's say, I don't know, network or extend some type of collaboration invite, you gotta at least have a decent profile picture.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This shit can't be grainy.
Well, I feel like it also helps too of like maybe if you checked out the show and you're like, okay, it's not like I'm the first guest he wants to have on. He's like wants to start a podcast.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like people who like, okay, you've been putting in the work. Like now I kind of feel like that.
And you seem like a nice boy.
Hopefully you checked out the episodes because for all you know, this could be like we talk strictly about gangbangs or something on here, dude.
And that's the thing. I wouldn't even mind if we were just talking about gangbangs the whole time.
It actually would be convenient because that's actually my thing. Well, dude, I want to start it off for anyone who doesn't know you. We always like the classic question of like who you are or what you do.
Yeah.
But in the setting of, I like to put it in an Uber driver. So like the random person, if they were just like, hey, what do you do? Like, what do you identify as to the random person?
It'd be a little different because honestly, let's say you were an Uber driver, I don't like to talk too much about what I do because I kind of like to just take a nap in the Uber. So if you were an Uber driver, I would have just been like, I just do entertainment stuff. Or I would have just said, I just work with cameras. That's literally what I would have said. Because then like you talk too much and then especially Uber drivers out here, someone's gonna like, check out my mixtape and check out my SoundCloud, and it's like, follow me on Instagram. I'm really not trying to do all that, So if you were an Uber driver, I'd say I just do internet stuff.
And so you don't necessarily identify as a YouTuber anymore. You're more of an entertainers, more of a broad.
Yeah, I like to keep it broad. If they were really interested like that, and they were, let's say, trying to get into like specifics, then I'd be like, oh, okay. To next level, I'd be like, oh, I do YouTube stuff, and I also do some TV stuff. And then I just kind of throw it out there, gauge how specific they want, because especially out here, you get a lot of people who are trying to find any excuse to talk about themselves. And
hype themselves up.
Yeah, and I understand sometimes you kind of have to do that in the business we're in, like especially if you're at an event and it's kind of expected. Like you're networking, you're talking about yourself, you're kind of like presenting your resume out at these different events. But when I'm just in the Uber, I feel like I don't feel like doing all that, But if you want to know,
what do you do, dude, to a non-Uber? I put the Uber out there as just like a situational thing. It wasn't meant to be like literally I'm in the Uber.
It got real specific.
Like the SoundCloud rappers are always the Uber drivers.
Okay, so let's say we're on a date. Okay? You and me are on a date, and you ask, what do? I would say I make my living off of doing YouTube videos and doing TV stuff. And I've been on YouTube for a really long time, probably since like 2006 is when I first started uploading videos.
That's a long fucking time, man.
Yeah, man. I'm what many would refer to as a OG in the space.
100%.
The first wave of like content creators on YouTube specifically that really was kind of able to make an audience and eventually turn it into a career and make a living off of it and all that type of stuff.
Do you keep up with a lot of the OGs? I mean, I've been a consumer of YouTube since I think kind of like almost day one. I've been like following like Philip DeFranco, still watch him to this day.
I still watch Phil to this day.
A lot of the people, disappeared off the face of the earth, the Kasim G, the Kev Jumba, some of the other like first generations.
Yeah, I do kind of randomly keep tabs here and there. So Ryan Niga Higa, also OG, he stopped like a couple years ago. He was like live streaming games for a bit, and then he just kind of stopped. Kev Jumba actually just started uploading again.
He like went to another country. Is that him? Was that him that did that?
Man, he had a whole thing. There was all these rumors about like Kev like joining like the Hare Krishna and then like getting into an accident, like going into Tibet, like becoming a monk. There was all types of stuff. I don't know.
How do people like start? How do you get the rumor of that? Unless it's
who knows, man? I don't even know where all that comes from. I don't know how true it all is. But he's back on YouTube now, just kind of like creating content again, just kind of like, hey, feeling it out, throwing little random stuff out there. Kasim G, shit, he kind of disappeared. He got rich off the maker stuff, I think.
He was the OG of the interviews, street interviews.
Yeah,
man.
the man on the street YouTube content. Now it's like every TikToker is kind of like, that's all you got to do. You know what I'm saying? What do you do for a living? What's your fit?
Yeah.
What music are you listening to?
How do you afford that car?
Yeah, 1 million views, right?
Yeah, you said, so like you keep up with a lot of the OGers. Why do you think that you're one of the people that maybe you're not making the same content, but why do you think you're still producing content?
Well, for one, I think it's been easy for me to adapt to like the changing tides of the whole YouTube scape, right? Because I was doing all types of shit from the beginning. I think a lot of people that were focused on one specific kind of content, they got burnt out on it. And that might have helped them grow in the early stages because people are like, I'm subscribing to this because I know what this is going to be. But then people just kind of got like, for one, the audience gets sick of it. And then the creator is like, God, I'm sick of making the same shit. And then when they are sick of it and they want to make something different, the audience hates it, right? Because that's all they're there for. So I think a lot of them just were like, got burnt out. For me, I started out doing so much different things. Like I would do the straight to camera, like vloggy style videos. I would do like sketches. I would drop the occasional rap video.
Like everyone does.
Right? But like, I was just throwing out so many different types of content. And I felt like my audience specifically really kind of grew to F with me as a person. And like, I don't want to say it's like a brand, but they really just, they were kind of invested in me and what I was doing. So they really stuck with me for a long time, you know? So I'm still like, when people ask me if I'm still like a YouTuber, I do still consistently put out content, but it's not like my main chick like it was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I got the podcast, which do moderately well for podcasts nowadays. And then I have like a travel food show I do with the other comedian YouTuber homie that does pretty well. And I think I've just been able to just kind of like evolve, man, you know? And I never got burnt out because a lot of people, when they get on schedules, are you on like a schedule?
No, but I do put out, like, I'm like, every Sunday you're definitely going to get an upload, but it's not like, you know, X day at this time exactly. You're guaranteed this. I always joke around and say, like, you're guaranteed 2 videos unless you only get 1 or unless you don't get any.
Dude, I think that's smart, man. Because I think in the early stages, so many people were like, they kind of followed this formula that they thought they needed to do. And they were like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to give you guys a new video, right? And then they just got exhausted and burnt out and just didn't want to create anymore. Me, I was like, fuck, I don't want to. Can we cuss on here?
Say all the dirty words.
Okay,
bro.
okay, cool. Hootenanny, shenanigans, big old cherry pussy pie.
I'll put that in the intro.
I never wanted to get on a schedule. Like, my podcasts are on schedules now because I don't handle that shit anymore. But in the beginning, I was like, God, I do not want to get on a schedule because I was having so much fun. I was being creative. I was making whatever weird shit that popped into my mind. I was like, I don't want to force it because I just didn't want to force just my creativity and my energy. And I think that really helped me not get burnt out. You know what I'm saying? So many people get into the hamster wheel of constantly feeling like they got to create or they're going to get lost in the algorithm, that they get like tired and then they get depressed because they're forcing it, and then they're not having fun anymore, but they're making money, and then they're still depressed because the money's not doing anything, and then it's like they don't know what to do, you know?
Well, I feel like a lot, like the comment you mentioned about like your audience kind of stuck with you and has kind of evolved with you, and you know, times they have changed, right, since day one, but I think having an audience that maybe came for one thing but stuck for you is like the biggest thing, where instead of people are like, if you did like prank videos, like I only care when you do a prank, you know? And you started out kind of doing skits.
Yeah, mainly skits. And I did these like advice videos for like young, like teenagers. It was called Timothy DeLaGhetto. It was like sex and relationship questions.
What was some of the young advice that you gave in 2006?
These youngins, man, they were so young, right? And it was a lot of young Asian kids who didn't have anyone to talk to about that type of stuff because, you know, they didn't feel comfortable speaking to their family or whatever about like these little like very, at the time, like basic questions. I feel like it would be like, oh man, it's a girl in my class and I don't know what to say to her because I'm gonna, you know, I feel stupid or get, you know, whatever, right? Shit like that. Just very, you know, because I was always a pretty like just confident dude. So it was a lot of me just kind of giving the just game to youngins.
You were you were the manosphere before there was the red pill manosphere stuff.
Yeah, you know what? And I wasn't even like, I don't even know what that is, bro. Like,
I was giving advice back in the day. I was like, make sure you wear 2 condoms so you're extra safe. You know what I'm saying?
That's actually not safe. The friction causes the condoms more likely to break. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah. So you started doing this like stuff. Like what was like the thing that you? Because I feel like YouTube back then, and when I say back then, I'm talking like 2012, which I feel like is still early, but you were, you know, almost half a decade, you know, before me.
Yeah.
So everything's evolved of like what kind of works and what like, and how you grow. I feel like now it's almost like an uphill battle to like gain a lot of traction like you once were. Because I feel like when you started, it was just like each month you were like, oh, I've gained more subscribers.
Yeah.
Hey, my videos are doing a little bit better on the average. And it was just like this always like trajectory, right?
Yeah.
What do you think you did in like the very early stages that was maybe your catalyst that really kind of took you off?
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, this is definitely gonna it's gonna contradict what I said a little bit earlier because, you know, I was talking about how I hated being on a schedule, but there was a good couple years where I was grinding so hard, but I was having fun though. You know, I think that's the difference. I wasn't feeling forced to grind. I was like, yeah, let's fucking do it. And YouTube used to run in a way where as soon as you went to the homepage, every category of YouTube video had a top 5 on the homepage. So if you were like a fitness video, it was like top 5 fitness videos, top 5 comedy videos for the week, or they would update like every 3 days or so. So what I was doing for like a good year is, because I had already kind of gained a certain amount of subscribers, if a video I dropped wasn't on that top 5 list, I would work on a new video immediately. So I was like cranking out a video like every 2 or 3 days just so I could hit that list.
So you were even in the beginning, I don't want to say like playing with the algorithm, but like when I uploaded, it was never like you would acknowledge that your videos are like doing around what they should. But nowadays we have that damn creator studio that gives your videos a ranking and stuff and fucks with your head. But like back then I just kind of uploaded and was like, oh, there's the piece of project. I'm gonna go work on my next video.
Oh,
You're saying even back then you were like, how do I maximize to get the most amount of views, content, engagement?
I was all on that shit, dog. If it was like, and I was pretty early on the thumbnail game and shit too. Like, getting a little clickbaity, but not so clickbaity. It was like, I would clickbait, but it was
Did you invent all this shit?
I was definitely there for it, man. One of my first videos ever, back when YouTube was like it was the Wild Wild West, man. Anything was on YouTube. It was like porn on YouTube. It was all types of random shit. Back in like, because I did have a channel before my current one. This is like 2005 that eventually someone guessed the password and just deleted my videos. I had like 200 subscribers.
What was your password?
It was so dumb, bro. It was stupid though, because so my original account was like just Funky Fresh. And I was real lazy with my passwords back then. My password was funky. So
no uppercase, no numbers at the end.
But mind you, this was like, I didn't know what the fuck YouTube was. Yeah. I was just using it because me and the homies used to make little short comedy films. So I was like, yo, let's use this website to just put our shit out without having to worry about bandwidth, So I was just putting up little like bullshit webcam videos of me freestyling and stuff. So I remember I noticed early on that the very middle of your video would be the thumbnail. So I did just a freestyle, just rapping about like, I think I did a freestyle using different porn site names in the freestyle, like blah blah blah, spank bang, blah blah blah, you porn, whatever, right?
How many porn sites were you going to?
So many, dog. to this day. No, actually, I just kind of live on spank bang. But back then it was like, oh, my friend's hot mom.
My friend's hot mom was a website.
It probably still is a website. Yeah, fire. I was everywhere. I was 8th Street Latinas, Onion Booty, all types of shit, right? So I worked it into a little freestyle, and I put a butt in the middle of the video. And I'm talking about, it wasn't even like seamless. It was like, the audio wasn't even still going. It was like rap, picture of a butt, rap, because I knew that the very middle frame was the thumbnail, and that's like one of my first videos to really start getting views.
This is before you could even like make a thumbnail,
This is before you could upload your own thumbnail.
Oh, I forgot. I don't even know. When did that even start? Because I think I think my videos would just automatically, you would be able to select just between like the 4 recommended ones.
Yeah. Nah, this was like, there was no options. You know what I'm saying? This is caveman shit, dog.
Do you miss the old days?
No, way better now.
No, I can afford to do shit now.
Yeah, I'm actually making money now. I did it for years before monetization was even an option, Yeah. So, so I was definitely playing the numbers game back then. If I wasn't hitting that list, I was like, let me get back into it, crank out another video, just keep going,
Do you think that your desire to make content before, because shit, if you were making videos in 2006, when did you start making money on YouTube?
Probably 2010, 9.
Jeez, because I did it for like 2 years in was when I started making like $800 a month like 1,000 and stuff. It was like, but even for the first year or two, I was $100, like nothing. Do you think that like, because you made content for so long where you were just doing it because you like it without making money, do you think that's why like it helped you like kind of keep your authenticity over even when you started making it? Because you're like, I didn't come into this to just make content to make money. I was actually doing this shit before I was making any.
I think the reason why I was able to feel like still keep the authenticity, for one, anybody that watched my stuff from the beginning, I always talked about how my ultimate goals were like, yo, I'm trying to like be Hollywood. I'm trying to do TV, movies. I'm trying to do all that shit. Right?
Out of the gate?
Out of the gate, from the beginning.
2006.
Before YouTube. Like even like, like when I was in high school, like before YouTube. Let me not date myself, but yeah, before high school. That was the goal, right? And so when it was like, when people saw me doing stuff that they felt was more produced or more professional, yeah, the new people would be like, oh, dude, you sold out. But the people who are actually watching were like, oh, Tim's been trying to do this. You know,
Yeah.
it wasn't like a sellout thing. It was like, yeah, guys, this is the goal. The goal is to sell out, guys. Like, are you dumb? Like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get next level with this shit.
It's always it's like when people only like the underground bands, right? It's like, do you think those bands want to be underground forever? It's like, no, they want to be mainstream. I always joke actually with it's funny you say that the comment about like that's the goal. I'm a big fan of chain restaurants.
Oh, hell yeah.
Love them, right? I know what I'm gonna get, and everyone's always like, no, you got to go to these like. You have to go to this like little like hole in the wall thing. I'm like, hey, let me paint a picture for you. I was like,
Yeah.
if that little hole in the wall started doing so well, they opened up a second location. Would you be happy for them? Like, yeah. If they did really well, they want to keep open locations. It's like now they're a chain because they're good. It means they were doing something correct out of the gate.
Hell yeah. I mean, look, even when I do like a here's the thing. Here's what was the beautiful part about being on YouTube for so long, right? Is in the beginning, when I even started monetizing, like when ads were available to put on videos, when my ads first started popping up on videos, the kids were like, Tim, I can't believe you did this. You sold out. Oh my God.
All about the money, bro.
Right, exactly. But now, now that they've matured and they understand how shit works, literally, I can do some shit that is like, yeah, sell out shit where it's like I'm pushing a product that they know I don't use and they're like, get your bag, bro. Like, for example,
Yeah.
they know that like I'm not a very good swimmer. And I did an ad read for something one time on the podcast where I was like, the ad read was for some watch and it was like a diver's watch. And I was like, y'all know I love swimming and diving. And everyone's like, yo, Tim, shut the fuck up, but get your money though. Like no one's mad anymore. They understand how shit works.
I think I did a promo with like Miller Lite one time, and I've like said so many times how I like hate beer besides like Bud Light Lime.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, dude, after like a thing, I love my Miller Lite. And everyone's like, go Max.
Isn't
dude.
that great?
It is great. And I think people just assume that if you're like they want you to make content for their enjoyment,
Right.
And then they want you to make go above and beyond, which takes time, takes money. But then when you start trying to like make money off of it, they think you're losing touch. Or like, how am I supposed to like make this like a full-time thing or like longevity without making any money?
A lot of them, the kids don't understand how the shit works. I think now they're understanding it more, Because like, yeah, they would call me a sellout for getting a little ad on my video, but then like, but love a like ludicrous Pepsi commercial, right? Like no one stopped being a Luda fan because he did a fucking Pepsi commercial.
It's funny that actually I think sometimes if the brand is big enough, they like respect it and allow it more. Like if you were to get a brand deal with Apple
Word.
or Sony or something, they're like, oh shit. But if it's ball powder or something, they're like, fuck you, dude.
True. But luckily I feel like the kids are smarter. They understand how the shit works. And, and blessings that I'm able to make a living off of it,
Yeah.
And also real quick tangent about you loving to eat at chains.
Love them.
I think that's like people judging you for that is so dumb because like I do a lot of food content now. Like the last few years, my content's really kind of skewed into the foodie world. So I talk about this on my podcast with my boy David, who I do the food show with, because we have like a food podcast. But
Is that the Send Foods?
Yeah, Send Foods, and that evolved into some other shit. But we eat at a lot of different places, and we try, and we'll go to hole in the wall spots, and we love like bougie shit and also very authentic shit. But also at the end of the day, I will go hard for some Taco Bell, some fucking McDonald's.
Cheesecake Factory's delicious.
All day. They got these steak medallions with the mushroom bomb. I ride hard for Panda Express. Asian people try to like be like, you gonna eat that fake Chinese
I think that's
shit?
top tier Chinese food.
Well, I wouldn't say all that.
I think PF Chang's and Panda Express.
Okay, relax. It's categories, it's levels. I look at it Panda Express like this, right? Like you would never. I don't call Taco Bell Mexican food. Taco Bell is Taco Bell, all right? Because I'm from LA, right? I mean, y'all got that weird Tex-Mex shit out there, but
which is better than the hole in the wall Mexican spot.
You gotta relax. Dog, you in LA, homie. We take our tacos seriously out here, right? But so I'll go to a fucking, hole in the wall taco shack truck, get the fucking like little fire real ass like little chorizo taco or like a lengua taco or something legit, and also go to Taco Bell and fuck up motherfucking gordita supreme, because I think it's two different worlds. The same as I feel like the authentic Chinese food spot in Chinatown is different from Panda Express,
I think eating food at restaurants is kind of like gambling. It's the risk versus reward, right? Do I want to risk? I'm really hungry. do I want to risk trying some new hole in the wall spot and hating it and being like, now I'm still hungry. Now I paid all this money. Now I hated that food. I could have gone the wrong dish or whatever.
Yeah.
Or am I in a different area? Am I in LA? There's a Chipotle right there. There's a California Pizza Kitchen. I want to go eat there. I know you have bad blood with California Pizza Kitchen.
I still will eat at California Pizza Kitchen to this day. I don't care that they fired me.
What was it? California
Skeetsa Kitchen.
Skeetsa Kitchen, dude.
Yeah, I got fired for that. Yeah.
That's funny, man. Speaking of being a funny man, comedy's your big thing. One of it. I know freestyle rapper, comedy.
It's in there, yeah. They're all in there.
Do you think it's tough being like a funny guy? Do people, because you have such a large audience, when you meet people, or do they expecting this like funny Tim at all times?
Yeah, I hate it.
Do people ever tell you, I've gone on rants this, like telling stories of like when I would go to expos and stuff, but something people would always come up to me and do is like, hey, can you film a story for my friend? Like, can you say something funny for my friend? Or can you do something funny for my story?
God.
And it's kind of like it's kind of like a dance, monkey.
It's the worst. I hate and I feel like when you're known for being like funny, you get this even before like the YouTube shit, but it's like, hey, you're funny. Tell me a joke. I hate fucking tell me a joke.
But you have to be funny or else then they meet you for the first time. They go to their friend and be like, dude, Tim wasn't even fucking that funny.
You know what? If anything, I do this now and it works in both ways because they'll be like, oh man, do something funny. And I'll tell them I'm not funny. And that makes them laugh. So it's like, it works on all levels. Now I don't have to say anything funny. And they're like, but I did say something funny. So they'll be like, oh my God, say something funny. I'm like, yo, I'm really not funny, guys. Like, I'll be like,
and they're just like,
yeah. I'm like, yo, anything you saw while and out, I didn't write that shit. And they just laugh. They love it.
I think the science behind comedy is loud equals funny. So whenever you're in doubt, you just kind of yell at your sentence and people will think it's funny.
Big old dicks never goes wrong. People love that, bro. Whenever guys,
I like that's your default.
Whenever guys
Dicks.
are like, yo, say something funny on my story, I'm always like, yo, he said send dick pics, y'all. He said send dick pics. That's a good go-to. Never fails.
That's true. Yeah, honestly, whenever I'm trying to be funny, I just talk about dicks as well.
That's kind of my whole brand.
With your evolution of YouTube, now you're doing a whole lot more.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
Don't worry about all that, bro. Don't worry about
I'm a fellow mid-30s guy. So
what you mean fellow, dog? What you mean fellow?
I know you're not in your 20s, dude.
I mean, look, I started YouTubing when I was 6 years old, all right?
With all the stuff that you have on your plate now and like YouTube still being, I looked, I tried kind of going back and kind of getting a gauge of kind of when your content shifted. And I've noticed for the last months and months and months and months, it's very long form.
Yeah.
Without necessarily having like a new channel, you're just like, I'm gonna keep everyone on my current channel.
Yeah.
And like do that long form content. What does like a day in your life look like these days?
Woo, man, a day in my life nowadays is everything revolves around the baby schedule. Because we got this new 2-year-old, I mean, I guess she's not new anymore. She's almost 2 years old, but now it's like I look at the baby's schedule, which is like
sleeping, shitting, crying.
Pretty much. But now she got, like daycare on certain days. We take her to a little baby gym. So it's like, it's other shit that we got to do where it's like, oh, okay. If we take her into the baby gym on Monday, I will, and let's say my wife is going to be at home with the baby all day on Tuesday. I won't schedule a shoot Wednesday and Thursday. I want to give my wife, because I'm going to be gone all day. Mm-hmm. She's super pregnant right now. She had a little hyper-ass 2-year-old running around. So I schedule all my shoots every other day so that I can give my wife a break with the baby. Okay?
So I've screwed up your schedule by pulling this podcast out.
No, you didn't actually. That's why I fucking told you, like, yo, we booked this shit like a month out. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, when people try to pull up on me now for some spontaneous shit, I'm like, bro, I can't do that, dog. Like, someone tried to hit me up the other day. Hey, bro, like, I'm in town. You want to grab drinks? Like, dog, you can't hit me on Monday, expect me to come out on Wednesday. I'm grown. I got kids.
I like how you're like, no, I can't hang out with my friends on a regular day and go get a drink.
Well, that's the thing, too. There's levels to the friendship shit, because my boys, who are my real friends, know I got kids, know how the shit works. They're not gonna hit me on no spontaneous shit. They know, like, hey, dog, you want to eat a month from now? The people that are like friends of friends, acquaintances, are the ones hitting me up on the, hey man, it's Monday, you want to kick it on Wednesday? No, for one, I can't do that. For two, I don't even like you like that. We're not really friends, bro.
We weren't hanging out before I had the baby.
Exactly. So what the fuck? No, I don't want to grab a drink with you. You know what I'm
So
saying?
your whole life's just baby focused.
It's baby focused, but it's more just keeping a balance in the schedule, you know. So like for example, wake up,
I wake up every day too.
Yeah, I mean that's important,
Yeah,
right?
that's how I start. It's crazy how we start the same.
I mean, I think we are just meant to be together.
We're related. It's relatability, baby.
So wake up, make sure we feed the baby, change the diaper, all that shit, maybe go to the baby gym, and then we put it down for a nap at like noon. And as soon as it's noon, we got 2 hours to handle whatever we got to do. So I'll fucking schedule all my meetings between noon and 2. If I got Zoom meetings, if I got to write, I try to handle it between noon and 2. And then all my, like, for example, I just recently filmed a second season of this show on Fuse TV. It's called We Need to Talk About America, right? It's just like comedians just making comments about America and clips and shit like that, right? But they needed like 4 to 5 days of shoot days with me. And I was like, okay, here's what I got to do. We got to break it up because I'm not going to double up or triple up for long shoot days while my wife is running around with this 2-year-old, you know? So they schedule me, it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Like we spread it out because that is just how I got to do it at this point in my life. You know?
What time do you like shut off in the day?
I really should. So wifey's asleep by like 9, right?
Okay.
After she goes to sleep, I clean the kitchen up. And then that's where I really kind of come alive. I try to get work done, but really I'm like, after a long ass day, baby's asleep, wife's asleep, I sit on the couch.
Call of Duty, baby.
No, not even, bro. Sometimes I just sit on the fucking couch in silence. And I'm like, I just scroll my phone. I'm like, okay, silence. I love it, right? And then I'll try and catch up on like a show that I've been trying to watch that maybe my wife doesn't like. We've been watching The Last of Us together, but there's other shows.
Is that good?
Oh, it's great.
Did you play the game?
I didn't even play the game. So everything is brand new to me. Everything is like, oh shit, right? So I try to just watch something that she don't like, maybe some Marvel shit.
Yeah.
And then around 10, I'm like, okay, I should answer emails. I should try and write something. And then around 11, I jerk off. And then
Obviously.
that just wakes me back up again.
And 11:30, I do it a second time.
Yeah. Grab a little snack and then do the whole thing over again. And then I'm usually in bed by like 1.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like you can plan. I never know if this is an intrusive question, but I'm just going to go and try to ask it anyway.
Yeah.
Was your baby planned, the first one?
All planned. Everything was planned.
When I like to think, I don't think there's like a perfect time to. It's not like you're like, I'm going to have a child at this exact age because everything will have come to the point of this, and whether it be financial or I'll be able to calm down. I think sometimes it doesn't always work out like that. When you were ready to have a child, were you at a point where you're like, I can calm down a little bit, or were you like, I'm just going to make a shit work?
I mean, for us, we were both just kind of like mentally, financially, like everything we were ready. You know, like we had been together for like 10 years, married for about like 3 or so years. And it was in the middle of the pandemic. We were already kind of talking about it. And then it was like, shit, we weren't going anywhere. So like, let's get it, right?
Finally got to have sex.
Finally, dude, after waiting so long, God. So much jerking off. It was wild.
I mean, I'm still doing that at 11 o'clock specifically.
Well, yeah, she's tired. And it was convenient. It kind of worked out because normally I would be doing a lot of traveling and shooting and stuff. So since I was home for the pandemic, I was really just able to be home the whole time for the pregnancy. And we were just kind of mentally ready. It was like, you know what? Let's start trying. And she was like, all right, cool. And that was that.
I feel like it's a dumb question to say, has the baby changed your life? But how is having a child versus what you thought having a child was going to be, based on like, whether it be what I see from my friends who have a kid, or like maybe my parents, or like seeing how, their advice or whatever. How is it actually?
So it was like completely like me diving in completely blind because I didn't have any younger siblings. Like I'm an only child. I didn't even have like little cousins running around. I literally never changed the diaper until.
So you've never even seen a baby before?
Yeah, dude, it was so weird. I didn't even know if they were real. I thought people just came out.
It's like baby pigeons, dude. Where have you ever seen a baby pigeon?
I actually Googled images of it the other day.
Shit, really? It's like drone and government drone.
It's like pictures of the moon landing or pictures of baby pigeons and moon landings, all fake. But yeah, I knew everyone said I was gonna be tired, no sleep. That's all facts. But it's also super fun, man. It's like super lit. I love it. You know, I honestly was a little concerned about how I would be because when I was around other little kids, I wasn't really sure how to like move, right? Like kind of like, hey, what's up, right? But even my wife was like, she was kind of pleasantly surprised at how good of a father I am and how well I just took to it and really embraced the whole thing. And it's super fucking fun. And for me, I think what it really changed was, you know, I've been doing this shit for a long time, right? So, and it's been going well. And I definitely feel like you kind of hit a point where you feel a little stagnant in what you're doing because you're not really like motivated anymore. Like when I was broke and hungry to get on, I was grinding, right? And then you kind of get to a point where, okay, I've made some money, shit's cool, like I got my house, and then you don't really feel that like fire to grind anymore. And what do they say, right? They say comfort is the enemy of progress or something like that.
Something like that.
Some shit like that.
I think it was Abraham Lincoln that said that.
I think it was Beyonce, but yeah. And then so with her having the baby, I finally, for the first time in a long time, was like, I have a reason to grind again. You know, I have a reason to work hard, and it really kind of like just rejuvenated me and motivated me to get back on my shit, you know?
You got to work hard so your daughter doesn't need to sell detox tea, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So she doesn't have to be a YouTuber. Ugh.
Last question on fatherhood is a big thing that I hear from people is that the biggest perspective change when you have a kid is that it's truly like all of the other problems of like work, whatever, you're like, doesn't fucking matter. Like doesn't care.
Nothing else matters except for the baby, man. And that's the thing too. It's like all the shenanigans of like just so much pointless shit. You're like, for what? Who cares? I'm just worried about the baby, and I just got to keep this little thing alive and and make some money, you know. And like really, like all like the petty shit is kind of out the window. It's like, I'm not concerned anymore, you know.
That's dope, man. Well, congratulations on fatherhood.
Thanks, bro.
And speaking of, you know, when you said you got to a place like financially that you were stable enough to make the decision to have a kid and be like, it's not gonna not be a burden, but like I'm not gonna be financially wrecked because of this.
Yeah.
How do you make your money?
So, you know, YouTube has always been a consistent place for the money. Still. You know what? Because of the podcasts.
Yeah.
It's actually I did not know how lucrative that shit was, right? Like when I started my first podcast, No Chaser, like 3 years ago. Damn, has it been 3 years?
And is no chaser? Is that a play on the no jumper? And then you don't need a chaser to drink alcohol? Is that the idea behind it?
It wasn't. It didn't have anything to do with no jumper. It was literally just like me and my co-host. So I have two co-hosts, Nikki Blades and Ricky Shucks, and me and Nikki like to drink a lot, right? So it was just like, yeah, let's take the shots. No chaser. That was it. It just happened to kind of sound like no jumper.
If I had known you were a drinker, if you were in Houston, we did the show at our studio, then we always start with shots and have a mid shot.
Well, damn it.
I know.
Next time, bruh. Next time I'll pull up to Houston on you, right? But yeah, we drink a lot. Well, we try to drink less now. But
you're like, we get fucking obliterated.
There's been some episodes where I'm like, all right, let's relax. But yeah, No Chaser was just, we like to drink. And also it was a whole, you know, play on words, we'll give it to you straight.
Yeah.
Because it was like a sex and relationship podcast at first. And then now we just kind of talk about whatever. But what was I talking about? Oh, yes. When I first started No Chaser, I thought I was kind of late to the podcast game because I was like, fuck, everyone's starting a podcast.
And when did you start?
Like 3 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say you're, even then, I think it's still pretty early.
Yeah,
I thought I was way too. I just started fucking 7 months ago.
Yeah, I feel like at this point, fuck it, who cares? Just started it, right? Like, 'cause, blah, blah, blah. But I did it, and it got to a point where I got one of these like a yearly guarantee, and I was like, oh shit, this is great. And then
like yearly guarantee, like locked in sponsors for 12 months worth,
the podcast network that I was with was like, yo, we'll get you this month or this much guaranteed and with ads and stuff, right?
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well that's fucking popping. And then started the other podcast because it was also like, hey, just an offer of like, hey, we think we could get you a bunch of ads. And so for sure, that is a decent amount of money. And then the TV stuff, MTV has always been good to me. Like since Wildin' Out, like even after me and Wildin' Out broke up, like they've been very like they fuck with me still. So I was able to get on a spinoff of Ridiculousness called Deliciousness, and that bag was like beautiful.
Their budget was a little higher.
Yeah, a little just better. You know what I'm saying? Because like on Wildin' Out, it was super fun, but man, it's like 20 people on the cast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they can only pay people so much.
Yeah, bro. Deliciousness and Ridiculousness. It's only like 3 or 4 of us on the actual stage. So I was like, okay, Rob Deerdeck, I see you, bro. So that shit was lit. Yeah, you know, it's just a blessing to get that TV bag off of the YouTube opportunities. And so I would say that like YouTube, TV, and of course just constant, you know, if I could lock down some like a brand deal a month, that's always nice too.
Are you like a business owner of anything? Do you have any, whether it be physical products, online, how to be funny courses, own some restaurants, own real estate?
I should invest more, to be honest, but me and my boys have a clothing line. It's called Goody Brand.
Okay. Yeah. I saw a lot of your stuff on.
Yeah, there's that. And I'm always kind of just like debating if I want to, you know, because I do the food shit so much. I'm always kind of like, I should open up some type of
it fits with your
something, you know. But yeah.
One day.
Figure it out.
Well, speaking of the Wild and Out thing, you were on for like a long, long time. 6 years?
6 years, 8 seasons, yeah.
I did not know that show is still going on.
So here's what happened. Like Wildin' Out was on like when we were way younger, right? And I remember as a kid being like, not a kid, but I don't know like how old I was, but being like, I would be good on this show because
you started YouTube when you're 6, so
yeah, exactly. So who knows? Maybe I was like when I was like 2, watching Wildin' Out and being like, man, I'll be great on this because it was bars and it was jokes, and I was like, I do all that shit, so it'd be great for me. But then it went away, and then when I got on it, it was a reboot of the show. So 2012, 2013 is when they officially rebooted it, and that was like the new Wildin' Out.
So
you know?
It was the reboot. Was it just same? It's back, or is it like, and it's all new?
It was like it's back and it's all
just
new.
like new cast and new kind of everything.
They even had a few of the OG cast members on there, like Mikey Day, who's on SNL now. This chick named Roscoe Mathers, super funny, and just a couple of the OG cast members. But then they eventually just kind of got phased out for all these new booties, you know.
So being so close with Nick Cannon, are you gonna have like 12 children?
You know, Nick, I'm gonna let him handle that. But it's funny because I always used to make that joke like, yo, I want to have a baby with a girl from every race so I can like, I always used to say that because how fun would it be to just have like a bus full of kids that kind of look like you?
I don't think that'd be fun at all. I think that sounds like a terrible time.
Hey man, we'll see. I mean, Nick he does look tired.
Yeah, yeah.
But he's doing his thing, you know. Nick was actually supposed to officiate my wedding.
Oh shit.
And then
he's ordained? Would that be what official?
Yeah.
He'd be ordained, right?
I don't know if he is officially, but it's not hard. You could literally like take a little online thing and you'd be ordained in like an hour.
Marrypeople.com.
Yeah, like, pretty much. Oh, that's also a website I used to go to.
Went there last night at 11 p.m.
But yeah, that didn't happen. Schedules got messed up. Yeah.
Well, I want to just very briefly. I feel like probably most people just ask about the Wild 'N Out because it's a whole different world of the creator space versus the mainstream media, right? What has been the biggest thing you've like realized of like the differences between like, I guess better question is, what's more enjoyable and what gives you more freedom? Like, were there things in Wild 'N Out? I know it's the freestyle and it's, you know, very on the spot ad lib. Was there things like, hey, don't talk about this, don't say this, we got to cut this out?
Well, I'll tell you this in terms of editing that I learned from my time on Wild 'N Out. All right, because of course, like you said, we come from YouTube, we do everything on our own. Like we get to keep the shit we want to keep, right? So I remember my very first season of Wild 'N Out. The first episode we filmed, it was with Kevin Hart, and I remember being like, I killed it. I got so many good moments on this shit, right? But we filmed for 2 hours every episode. They cut it down to 20 minutes. 22 minutes, and then there's a musical performance. It's damn near 20 minutes, right? And then, so the day the episode was gonna premiere, I was like, oh, lit, it's the Kevin Hart episode. It's like, guys, yo, watch Wildin' Out. I kill this shit. It's back. It's the whole show. It's back. And everyone was hyped. And then watching the episode, all my jokes that hit got cut. And they only kept me catching a buzzer, and they kept me getting like roasted in the Wild Style.
Really?
Like, yeah, it just, that episode was trash for me, the way they cut it. And so everyone was in my mentions like, Tim, what happened, dude? What happened? You said you killed it. Like, and I was like, oh my God, I'm never gonna promote an episode before seeing it ever again.
So you don't even know what context you're gonna get. They probably have like expressions. They zoom in on you of like someone that said, but it's like from another clip of your expression, maybe.
They don't do that much. But it is like, you know, there's so many people and so many jokes that get filmed in that couple hours. You just never know what's gonna make it. You know what I'm saying? And so I just had to learn that. There was a cast member on his first season. He threw a whole fucking release party at a club in his home city. Literally, they cut everything that he said, and everyone's like at his party like, yo, we only saw you in the background,
bro. That's kind of like a lot of people don't know. At least I'm fairly certain this is how it goes. But like, so Shark Tank, for example, you know, I think they have like 4 or 5 pitches per episode. Big Shark Tank guy. They actually film like 20 for when they like are filming that whatever. And you don't know if yours is going to air until the episode airs. Like, and you're just happen to be one of the people. Can you imagine if you're like, tonight's the night. This is the episode for my time. Guys, it's like, don't get it.
Yeah, watch this. I got 20,000 for my automatic toe crackers. And it's like, and you didn't even make the cut. I remember watching Whose Line Is It Anyway growing up, right? And being like, how are these people so on point with these jokes? And then as I got older, I realized, oh, they filmed for like 3 hours and they cut out all the trash jokes and leave just the best bits. I mean, granted, they're still super talented, right? But I'm like, oh, this is how TV works. You know?
That's how my YouTube videos are. People don't know about all the shitty jokes that like that got cut out of my videos. How is, since you were on for 6 years, how did it evolve, at least the comedy? Because as you're well aware, the world is more sensitive to comedy now. It is like, I feel like now people being comedians, people doing kind of like roasting.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like sometimes they will even want to be like, I don't even want to do it because I'm too worried if people are going to take the shit I say in the wrong way.
Well, you know what? To Wildin' Out's credit, they still go pretty hard, bro. They let a lot of shit fly. Like, whereas there was even, I watch Wildin' Out now and I'm like, oh shit, they kept that? Because I feel like, I thought like, the world's pretty sensitive. But I think under the category of like, yeah, we're all making fun of each other equally, I think people kind of give it a pass. You know, like, yeah, if you take I'll give you a good example, right? One time there was on Wildin' Out at the end, we wild style, we like kind of diss each other, like little rap battle, right? And there's this Canadian dude from this white dude from Canada, the battle rapper named Sharon. He's dope. And he actually even told me, he was like, yo, I'm gonna say this joke to you, all right? Just so you know.
He told you the joke ahead of time?
Yeah, this is where they fucked up. A lot of people would do this. So he was like, yo, I'm gonna say this. And he said, it was a great fucking joke too. He was like, something, Tim's gonna be done. He entered a Jackie Chan lookalike contest and everybody won or some shit like that, which is great, right? And but his dumbass telling me the joke, it gave me a chance to come up with a little fire rebuttal. So I was like, yeah. You talking about Jackie Chan? Jackie Chan is tight, fam. Rush Hour taught us that behind all the evil in the world, you got to follow the white man or some shit like that. So the crowd goes crazy. Everyone laughs. There was an Asian website, took that clip. Timothy DeLaGhetto roasts a racist hater on TV or something like that. And so all the comments were like, wow, what a fucking racist thing to say. Wow, typical, blah, blah, blah. But you take that shit out of context and for the wrong audience, they're pissed, right? But you watch Wildin' Out, everyone's just laughing. It's all a good time. Like,
I was watching your episode you filmed a couple years ago with on the No Jumper podcast, and you were talking about how like the default that a lot of people do in the disses would be like Asian jokes.
Of course, yeah.
Right. Has that changed now? People don't necessarily do as much, or I feel like it's almost like it's like, would you always be like expect that to happen in the shows?
Yeah. I mean, that's a big. It's kind of like, on Wild 'N Out, it's just kind of what you expect to happen. You know,
it seems like the easy way. Like that's like it seems like
it is. But people don't necessarily go to Wild 'N Out for like highbrow shit. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a lot of low hanging fruit, but sometimes that's just the most fun. And that was the role on Wild 'N Out that I was given. Of course, like look, if you're a fat dude on Wild 'N Out, you're gonna get the fat jokes. If you're a white girl on Wild 'N Out, you're gonna get the no booty, you don't season your food jokes. That's just kind of how it happens, right? The black comedians, they'll go. They can get real specific with it to each other, right? They're not making black jokes. They're talking about each other.
Yeah.
For me, as the only Asian dude on Wild 'N Out, they're not making Tim jokes. They're making Asian guy jokes, right?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of what I expected, and that's what happened. And that's kind of made it easier for me because I've been responding to the same 5 Asian jokes since I was like 12. You know what I'm saying? So that's what made it easy for me. But that is a part of the reason why I felt like after a while, I kind of did as much as I could do on the show. People were kind of saying the same shit to me, and I was kind of just clapping back with basically the same basic, stuff. It was kind of like we were going in circles, and I was like, all right, man, you know what? I think it's run its course. And they were the ones that initiated the breakup, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's cool.
How did you ever? Because you always thought you were like, I kind of get the same jokes to you. Did you ever just like pull a B-rabbit and just like diss yourself beforehand and then fucking drop the mic?
There was.
Is that a strategy that anyone's done? Has anyone seen 8 Mile?
Well, that classic. And also, well, that was the beauty of Wild 'N Out is because people always thought they could like hit me with the easy Asian joke and have a banger, and then I would clap back with like a bigger banger. And of course, people are more likely to root for me because I'm getting like attacked, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what kind of got complicated for me on the show too. Is in my later seasons, no one wanted to call me out anymore. So I would have to fucking be like, oh, let me get Chico, let me get Los, whatever. And then so the audience is less likely to be on my side. I'm like, oh God, I hate calling people out. But they didn't want to call me out because they knew I had fire,
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a good time.
How did and to kind of get out of Wild 'N Out? How did you even get on it?
Yeah. So somebody was like, yo, Tim, Nick Cannon is bringing Wild 'N Out back. You should audition, right? So then I followed. Auditions. Yeah, I followed Nick on Twitter, and then one day he tweeted. And this is when I already had my YouTube audience, right? So he was like, "Who's the funniest person online? Whoever gets the most whoever gets the most retweets of hashtag Wild 'N Out needs me. I'll audition personally." I was like, "Oh." Shit, all right.
That's just who has the biggest audience. That's not like who's the
exactly. But
it just happened that you were the funniest.
It was me and a couple other people that were getting the retweet. So I had my minions retweet, and then someone DM'd me from Wild 'N Out. I was like, okay, if you're serious about auditioning, contact this person. And then I went to audition, and it was like me in a room, like probably a room like smaller than this.
What's an audition look like for Wild 'N Out?
It's like this. You're in a room. You're looking at Nick Cannon.
Make me laugh.
Yeah. Nick Cannon doing that. And he's actually super nice. Nick Cannon, handful of other people. And they're like, well, first, okay, rap. And then I'm like, freestyle or written. And he was like, whatever you want to do. So I did both. And then they'll be like, you play a couple improv games. They'll be like, give me your best pickup line. They'll be like, Kevin Hart is in front of you right now. Wild style, diss him, shit like that. After that first audition, they bring you back for a group audition with other would-be cast members to kind of test the chemistry, see how you play with people, blah, blah, blah. And then there's a very intense workshop where they started doing that for the especially the new cast members.
Yeah.
I don't remember being as intense when it was like when all of us were new, but now they have a very intense like week of workshops where they playing games with everybody, introducing them, like kind of showing them what it's going to be like to stage, like, your stage presence, how you talk, where you stand, shit like that. And that's where you kind of realize like a lot of people that think they're funny online aren't really delivering when they got to actually stand up and be in front of people. A lot of people get cut.
I feel like performing comedy is different than having funny lines you say. Mm-hmm. I've always said my type of comedy is a response comedy. So it's like when someone says something, I have like some sort of comment that is like the comedic response to it rather than just like thinking of like funny jokes to say.
Isn't that why podcasts are great, dog?
It is.
Conversational, funny shit. It's the best. Look at this. We can sit here and bullshit and be hilarious. Ugh, it's the best.
When you left Wild 'N Out, were you worried about like, you like, I kind of went on a mainstream and then people are gonna gossip about why I left or anything like that?
Nah, I mean, for one, I was like, I know when I make the video about like, oh, I left, me Wild 'N Out broke up, I knew it was gonna get a lot of views, so I was like, lit. And then also
got kicked off Wild 'N Out.
Yeah, exactly. Nick Cannon fired me. But also, you know, I like to live my life with just blind confidence in myself and just constant belief in me just popping and always doing well. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't like worried about it.
Yeah. When you were with everything you have going on, whether it be like on your main content, and you made a financial success for yourself over the years, and then Wild 'N Out, whatever you made from that, and all the full media stuff. Did you ever go through a phase where you just started buying dumb shit? What's the dumbest thing you've ever bought?
Oh man, I be buying dumb shit, dude.
You have any fancy watches on or anything?
No, never. I never was a jewelry Rolex guy.
How do people know you're successful though?
Exactly. And like I told you, man, if you're the Uber driver, man, I don't want you to know I'm successful.
Yeah.
I don't want to get robbed. You know what I'm saying? I never even did a fucking... Yo, MTV hit me up because they brought Cribs back and they wanted to do...
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, it was a while ago?
They brought it back and I think it's definitely streaming and I think it was on TV too, but they were like, hey, would you be down to do an episode of Cribs, right? And for me, growing up, watching all that shit, I'm like, oh, this is like, wow. This is like dream come true, right? Like feels like, oh my God, I made it, right? But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want people fucking seeing my house. Like,
you just got to make up shit. You'd be like, yeah, see this paint? This is actually Hermes paint. Real expensive.
Well, a lot of the Cribs episodes were fake.
Really?
Like a lot of those houses
were cars and shit?
Rented. Houses rented. Cars rented. Like some of these people didn't even live in those houses,
What?
And I was like...
I knew Lil Wayne wasn't actually rich.
Oh, Weezy's definitely rich. But like, I think it was like the Yin Yang Twins and some other people. This shit was all rented.
What?
Yeah. And... But I had to decline because I just wasn't trying to. I feel like I'm showing people my house. I'm showing them where to break in. I'm just showing them the shit I have. Like I'd rather just, my smile is a flex. You can see I'm happy. You don't need to see me wearing my money.
Well, people wouldn't be able to break in if they had Simply Safe, which is why today's video. No, I'm just kidding. So you don't really share a lot of your. I mean, you did vlogs. Like, I guess I probably share way too much. Like, I vlog everything I'm doing. Here's everything. Here's my house. Here's the front of my house. Here's the back of my house. Here's the street I live.
I mean, I vlog too. But as far as like the front of my house and the street and shit like that, nah, I keep it real private.
You know what I think the strategy is. I mean, not like everyone's desire is to become famous, right? But what I've learned after getting notoriety online for a long time, and then you look at like Justin Bieber, right?
Yeah.
Obviously a different kind of realm, but you're like, I want to be famous. I want to make money from whatever and follow my dreams and live a cool life, but I don't want to be too famous. Because when you're too famous, then you got to worry about people sitting outside your house, people parked a car outside your house, like.
It's funny that you say that. I was literally just talking about this the other day because somebody asked me if I'm at the level that I wanted to be, right? Initially when I started off doing stuff. And, when I started off, I was like, oh yeah, like mainstream shit, right? I'm trying to be like Bieber level. I'm trying to be Tom Cruise. I'm trying to be Will Smith, right? I'm trying to be Asian Will Smith. That was like always the goal, right? And now I love that I'm kind of like this mid-tier celebrity, bro. Like mid-tier celebrity is actually more lit, right? Because you get perks. Like, yeah, I got a house. I got a cool, my car is cool. Like, I got money, right? But also, I don't have paparazzi on my ass. Like, I can go to a restaurant and have a nice dinner with my wife without people sneaking pictures of us, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can go kick it and I'm not constantly being badgered. I don't have people trying to, like, stalk me or whatever, right? So I like that there's this balance where like, yeah, okay, people know me enough to get some good shit, but
You can go to Chipotle and not have to worry about.
I can go to Chipotle and no one's gonna be fucking, trying to like tickle me.
It's good. It's good that you never turned into Will Smith, because then you would have to slap Chris Rock. So
this is true. I mean, and I wouldn't be able to. I love Chris Rock.
Well, bro, what's next for you? Obviously the family, children is your life now. Changed a lot from maybe your YOLO days back when we did have, you still had responsibilities, just different folk. It wasn't as family focused as it is now. But like, do you have any big projects you're working on, or any like what's like some secret stuff?
Yeah. I've been trying to write this movie for so long, and I really feel like I should use just like the leverage I have as a creator with an audience and someone who actually like does scripted stuff. I feel like a lot of younger creators with audiences, like, yeah, they got a lot of views for like, I don't know, shoving chili peppers in their assholes or whatever, doing the chili pepper asshole challenge.
How many hot dogs I can fit in my mouth?
Yeah, all that. And it's like, so initially when I feel like traditional was trying to work the new media, they were like, let's get this person with like 1 billion views that, that sucks on cow udders and put them in a video, put them in a movie.
Jerks off every day. Let's get them on the big cameras, man.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's me.
I don't know why I keep going back to your jerk off story. That's really weird.
So they would get people in this shit with audiences that don't necessarily act, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I've built this audience. I do act. I do scripted. I've been on that both sides of the camera, right? I know how that shit works. I feel like I'm in a good place where I could just write my own movie, pitch it, sell it, get it done. And also like Asian people in movies is kind of like is kind of buzzing right now. So I feel like I need to get in there, get on that wave before it's too late.
You got to do a Eddie Murphy or a Michael Myers and just be every character in your movie.
Yeah, maybe I'll do like just a new nutty professor. We're all like sumo wrestlers and big sumo wrestling family,
That sounds good, dude. Well, if you need any D-list actors, you have my contact information, bro. But I'm gonna end it here. I know you got a crazy hectic schedule. I want to thank you for coming out to this episode and making it work. I actually, for a little insight, we were supposed to film this tomorrow. And thank God, bro, I would have looked like the biggest fucking doucher in the world. Like, if you never messaged me, I would have just thought we had it for tomorrow, and you would have like shown up. And
no, we were supposed to shoot it today.
Yeah, I'm fucking up. We were supposed to shoot it today. I thought it was for tomorrow, but if you messaged me, if you didn't do that, you would have just shown up and I wouldn't have been there.
I know.
And you would have been like, fuck this guy.
I mean, that's the beauty of having like kids and shit now is you write shit down, you plan it a month ahead, and then you always check up because it's always like, is this motherfucker gonna flake? Because then I can sleep.
I wasn't gonna flake.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we can make it happen, bro.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, if anyone is unaware of Mr.
You got this.
Tim Chantarangsu. God damn.
Perfect.
All of your information, all your channels, your 18 podcasts you got going on will be down in the description. I'll put your clothing company down there too if people want to check it out. That'll wrap up this episode.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Make sure if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're on any sort of podcast streaming service. Give us a 5-star review. I don't know if it actually helps, but it sure does make me feel good. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Eat more sour strips and ever forward. Fuck, mine was way better, dude. Yo, thank you so much for coming out, bro.
Yeah, man. Hey, thanks for having me, dog.
What do you guys talk about? Just dicks, cow udders, all sorts of stuff.
Always more dicks on my podcast. So
yeah, I meant to bring up like stuff like I was gonna go into like kind of like the whole hustle culture, because certain people when they gain success they kind of like change like their mood, right? But then I was like, a lot of your content's like y'all's podcast, instead of it being like, hey guys, here's how to build this business, it's like dicks and poop.
Yeah, lots of.
There was a lot of y'all's like conversations is wild, bro.